Thank you very much. And you mentioned your investigative report. I have it here. I'd like to enter it into the record without objection. So ordered. It's good to actually be up holding a hearing in this committee where we find out the situation isn't as bad as we initially thought. Unfortunately, in some of our other hearings, it turns out we're afraid the situation is worse than we initially thought. So this is actually a happy occasion for me to be chairing this subcommittee hearing where, yes, there are problems, but it's not as bad as we thought. Mr. Thompson, I'd like to start with you for a second. I think a lot of the issues that we saw in the VA, and I think we see in some areas of the government, is what the culture is within the organization. And y'all testified that you do have training materials early on for your new recruits to talk about the issues with data falsification and how to report it. Typically, how long is a new hire trained?
Congressman, I will have to get back to you on that.
My concern is the data falsification 5 minutes in a 2-day training, or is it something that's pervasive throughout the training? And that's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, so we have revised our training to emphasize data integrity. In fact, we are implementing a form that each interviewer will sign, and they will re-sign it every year, that explains to them the importance of data integrity and the dangers in falsifying data.
And what are the consequences to an employee caught falsifying data?
It's a fireable offense.
Okay. That's good to hear. Now, you talk about your UTS system, your Unified Tracking System. It's my understanding that tracks who assigns what and who completes what cases, but there are actually 3 other systems, the Blaze file, which is the actual survey response, and the Trace file, which is a time-stamped keystroke log. These are 3 separate systems, right? And how do they talk to each other, or do they?
That is one of the next steps in our process, is to put together a method for making these systems talk to each other. However, I have to say that we are continually revising the way in which we analyze the data from our unified tracking system to provide more and more useful information to our field managers.
Great. And it's also my understanding that regional offices are responsible for both data collection and quality control, and that they often have conflicting objectives. Most Census Bureau employees are evaluated at least in part on survey response rates. The Census Bureau can minimize the potential for conflict of interest by separating the interview from the regional chain of command, thus allowing quality control to function independently. It's my understanding that y'all have started in July a pilot program where there's a re-interview process that comes out of your Jacksonville Connect Center rather than the regional offices. Do you think this initiative has been successful so far? Can you give us an idea how it's working?
Certainly. We have already moved 2 of our regional offices to the Jeffersonville facility.
That's in Jacksonville. I'm sorry, I just read that.
That's okay. Where a totally independent staff will do the telephone interviewing. And by by April 15th, this coming April, we'll have moved all the regional offices to our Jeffersonville facility.
And have you run into any problems, or is it working out pretty well?
It's been working very well.
Great, great. And then the other question I wanted to get to is Commerce Department officials. One of the committee's witnesses reports that they faced retaliation after she cooperated with the committee's investigation. Can we have your commitment that you'll work with our staff to ensure that Bureau employees are not retaliated for whistleblowing and cooperating with Congress?
Certainly, Congressman.
All right. We had a hearing the other day in the full committee on the difficulties that some whistleblowers face, and this committee I think, is almost unanimous in believing that whistleblowers need the highest level of protection, that they are our partners in being watchdogs. So with that, I'll go on and let Mr. Lynch have his questions, and I'm going to check to make sure we've gotten everything I need to get covered as well. But we'll go to Mr. Lynch now.